Hello everyone, it's End Times Talk, and I wanted to come at you with a video that's about what's going on in the world right now. It's getting a little bit hairy, folks, and I want to try to prepare people, not scare people here. I think that it's important to make sure people are understanding the path that we are all on and how rocky it could be ahead of us. And so, right now, there's a lot of talk worldwide with recession and economic crashing and the dollar being devalued and inflation going sky high and hyperinflation right around the corner. I do know that Goldman Sachs has been warning of an economic crash for some time now this year. They've been kind of shouting it from the rooftops. But see, Goldman Sachs has always had their sticky fingers in a lot of different stuff. And I do know that they're also behind BRICS, which is a world power that's kind of forming that I believe is part of the Ten Kingdoms of the book of Revelation, but also the book of Daniel. And BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. It talks about in the book of Revelation that power was given to the 10 kings in 1 hour, and I think that 1 hour can represent, a 24-hour period where, the economy crashes, and all of a sudden you have almost a redivision of world economic powers overnight. And so I do know that BRICS has a reserve CBDC currency in place, which is a centralized bank digital currency. I know there's multiple countries right now that are getting rid of the U.S. dollar and U.S. debt in exchange for gold. There's a lot of countries buying up gold. When you go search these things up, half of the sites are lying, half of the sites are confirming it. I mean, it's it's mass chaos in the media, and they do this on purpose because they don't want you to be prepared for anything that could be happening. I do know that Ghana, who is number 6 in the world's producer for gold, has stated to all of their the miners and all the gold refineries that they're going to need to sell 20% of their refined gold to Ghana, and Ghana is using that to buy up oil instead of the U.S. dollar, which they were using before. I know that gold is a safe hedge for inflation. Gold goes up in price as paper currencies go down. I do know that China as well is getting rid of U.S. debt and moving more into gold. I know that there's talk of Russia moving into gold, and even centralized banks that are buying up gold. So this is something they don't want you to know. People, the power structures at hand are preparing for something big. I know that cryptocurrencies are beginning to become devalued all over the world. Cryptocurrencies are even crashing and falling apart. I know that these are all real turbulent signs of turbulence ahead as we move forward as mankind into the future. I know that they also have said that there's 10 countries already that have launched these centralized bank digital currencies, in that most countries by the year in the year 2023 want to have a CBDC, which is a centralized bank digital currency, already set up. And so it's almost like people are leaving the paper money and going for this digital currency, and if they're not, they're shooting for gold. And so this shows me that an economic crash pretty much is well on the way, and I would almost expect it. I do know that we're in a Shemitah year right now, which is every 7th year, a Shemitah year. It's a calculation of the Jewish calendar, but I do know that currencies seem to rise and fall on these Shemitah years. Okay, but I do know that next year supposedly is a year of Jubilee, which is every 50th year. So you have 49 years, which is multiple Shemitahs, and then the year after that, let that year be a year of Jubilee. All right, so things are getting really tightly wound. Everything's being ratcheted up really tightly with the world economy. I know that you can do a Google search and find this and that, but pay attention to the actual things that are going on, folks. Like, these are warning signs of impending danger, and I do suggest getting out and getting what canned meats and foods that you can that are preserved, that have a longer shelf life. I know that Spam itself has like a 10-year shelf life. So you can get things that are canned with water. You can drink the water or cook with the water if you have to, but if you get things that are canned with oil, like tuna fish and oil, after you take the tuna fish out, you can actually, I believe, I haven't tested it, but I've heard that tuna fish oil is flammable, and you can use it to make candles or things like that. So, and little heaters and whatnot out of these tuna fish cans, and using bricks and whatnot, like actual cement bricks or the red bricks, or clay pots, terracotta pots. But that's a later video. But what I'm talking about is the currencies crashing and becoming devalued. This seems like it's all happening at once, folks, and it seems like a perfect storm that's brewing right now. And I don't want any of my subscribers or people that watch my channel to be taken off guard. I want to be prepared for every angle of this thing as we move forward. But I'm seeing a lot of warning signs, and I truly feel in my spirit from the Lord that there could be something right around the corner, folks. And it's going to happen overnight. It's going to literally just happen overnight. There's only so many warning signs until your money is valueless. It's kind of like when, in the movie Titanic, when this man had paid a man to have a position on one of these lifeboats. He had given him a tremendous amount of money, but then when the ship was actually sinking, and he came up and he tried to get into the lifeboat, and he was saying, no, women and children first. And there came a point where this man that had received this payment just took the money and threw it up into the air. And he's like, your money's worth nothing now because the ship is sinking. And so I think that's where we're kind of at as a country right now, is that we can see that our money buys less and less and less. So let's not be deceived, folks, into thinking that it couldn't happen to us. Let's not have Titanic syndrome and think that God himself couldn't sink this ship, because it is sinking. It's very obvious it's sinking. So I want you to be prepared, not scared. Get into prayer, get into the Spirit, and start connecting with God, because now is the time. May God bless you through this, and may God keep you.